What's good, guys? Welcome back to All About Arsenal. And today, movements are happening in regards to outgoing. So let's get into it. But before we start, if this is your first time or your new time gooner, please hit that subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're always aware of when I have a new video that is dropping. And we are on the road to 6K. We are almost there. Just want to say thank you once again to each and every person that's subscribed. Really helps my channel. And you know what? It actually feels good to know that there's people that really appreciate your content. So thank you once again. Won't be doing this without all your support. So highly appreciated. So like, share, and subscribe. Right. I'm still buzzing about the signing of Eze. Everybody was so hyped about Victor Gyökeres, and that was the biggest summer saga transfer for Arsenal, especially because Sporting were playing so many games, they were playing hard ball. They really took us to the wire. And there were times where some Arsenal fans thought it wasn't going to happen, but I still had that confidence. I said, these guys are going to sell. This is their best opportunity. He had about 2 years left in his contract, and that's all water on the bridge. And Victor Gyökeres, fast forward, got his first 2 goals for Arsenal at the Emirates. What a way to celebrate by doing that. But then Eberechi Eze. This is a transfer that Arsenal fans were crying out for. And sometimes I think, you know what, this might sound a bit wild, but I'm thinking at times, yes, he's a wonderful player. He's maverick. He's got that magic about him. He's got that spark about him. And it's a dying breed. Those type of players like Eze, they are a dying breed. So for us to get him, it's a huge boost. Sometimes I cannot help but feel that, did the Arsenal fans have an impact on this one? Because I remember a lot of prominent Arsenal pundits, journalists were mentioning Eze. Arsenal, this is a player they need to look at. He's available. He's in his prime. And it still feels like a dream that have we got Eberechi Eze in Arsenal? And one of the things now, why I'm so confident going into the game against Liverpool, the depth that we have is serious. We've got depth, and I'm talking about experienced players that know the system as well. Yes, Eze is still coming in. I still do fancy him to start, and I am going to do a video during the week in regards to what my starting 11 would be. And this is why it's so exciting, because there's variations to this. There are variations to this. I was watching, if you haven't seen it, watch the behind the scenes of Eze when he signs for Arsenal. It's amazing. From start to finish, he's just smiling. And he literally looks like a kid that's just entered into Disneyland for the first time. And it's like he's moved from, teams to teams. He should know the drill. You're medical, you meet the people, this, that. But you can tell that this for him was overwhelming. And there's pictures of him his first day of training, and you can just see he's just got the biggest smile on his face. I'm like, you know what? On a level, how great it would be for everybody watching this to be in that business, that industry, that place of work where you can go to work smiling every day. How great would that be? But lovely to have Eze once again, and he's only going to make the team stronger and better. And he's raring to go, because you saw what he did to Chelsea. That free kick that got disallowed was still ridiculous in my opinion, but it is what it is. So now I think, just when you thought that Arsenal would have exhausted all the incomings, Piero Hincapié. So what is the latest with Hincapié? Arsenal have agreed personal terms as broken by Fabrizio Romano yesterday. And, it seems that personal terms are never an issue when the player wants to come to Arsenal. And that's what I like. Now, the issue is negotiating with Bayer Leverkusen. He has a release clause of about 52 million. And these teams, European teams, know that the Premier League teams, they've got money. They've got cheddar. They've got dinero. Or is that what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, money. You know what I'm trying to say. So now the player has said, I want to go to Arsenal, but less for my release clause. And of course, the team are going to say, no, it's at the release clause. We want something close to it. I do think a deal will eventually get done. The player's really pushing for this. He's made it very clear he wants to leave, and he only wants to go to Arsenal. I don't know what type of hex Andrea Berta is putting on these players, because once it's Arsenal's only Arsenal. Gyökeres was like that. Eze was, we already know. Mosquera was like that as well. Now we've got Hincapié as well. I've been watching him. He's decent. So he is supposed to be the substitution or the person that would replace Jakub Kiwior. And Jakub Kiwior, how am I feeling about this? I actually think he's a decent player. I just don't think he got enough game time that he should have received. He did so well in the Champions League latter stages when he deputized for Gabriel. He did well. I think he's better on the ball in regards to distribution. Remember, during the pre-season, he set up Saka. He's got such a good foot on him. But obviously, as a defender, he can't be compared to Gabriel. So for Arsenal to actually get going with this, we need to strike a deal with Leverkusen. Then on the back of that is the selling of Jakub Kiwior to Porto. There were talks that there was a private jet that was ready to take Jakub Kiwior all the way to Portugal to get his medical done, seal and finalize the deal. It didn't happen for the reason that Arsenal did not actually strike a deal with Bayer Leverkusen. And Arsenal do not want to be in a place where they are short because they've let a player go and they're struggling to get another player in. Arsenal have to be tactical. They need to be clever about what they're doing. And I completely agree with this approach. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should Arsenal actually take the gamble? At this stage, no. One of the things that a lot of teams, a lot of rival fans, pundits are really praising Arsenal for this season is the depth, because they know what happened to us. And we know as Arsenal fans what happened to us last season. We didn't have the depth. And that's one of the things that did, I believe, cost us. I mean, where we should have had more attacking options, we had to put Mikel Merino up front. And he did a decent job, might I add. So that's what's happening with Arsenal at this moment in time. With the transfer window closing, teams are going to be more desperate to do deals. I don't know by Leverkusen's financial standpoint how they're doing with FFP. I don't know. But let's be honest, when the teams do see they're likely to get a good sell, it will happen. It looks like the deal for Porto in regards to Kiwior and Arsenal that are looking to get Nketiah are going to be low moves with an obligation to buy, because it now means that you can put that sell against your books for the next year, for the next period, rather than this particular current season, which is clever, which is very, very clever. So that's how we're looking. However, there has been some talk and a few people are disappointed in regards to the sell for Kiwior. I think he's going for something in excess of about 25 million euros. And a lot of people are not happy about that. And I can understand why. In regards to business, in regards to buying, Berta has done a masterclass. Berta has done a wonderful job. But in regards to the selling, once again, Arsenal coming up short. But this is my theory. We are not selling prominent players. For example, we're selling Kiwior, and I do think he's a decent player. Crystal Palace were interested in him. I would have done a swap deal for Mark Gahey. I don't know. That's what I don't know. But apparently he didn't want to go to Palace. Fine, I get that. Completely understood. But if you're trying to sell Mark Gahey, you know you're going to get more money for Mark Gahey over a Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior was not a prominent feature, and we have to understand. And when a lot of Arsenal fans are getting upset, the players that we're selling, we're not playing for the team. The players that we're selling were not regular features, not regular starters. As you can imagine, if we're selling somebody like Martinelli, we'll get top dollar. Trossard, even a good, fair, decent amount, taking into consideration his age. But you have to understand the players that we are offloading are players that were not even involved in the team, players that were on loan, players that Arsenal didn't, or Arteta didn't have any plans of keeping them within his structure of his team and how he was building the team. So you can't expect to get top dollar for them. We have to understand that. But for Kiwior, I do think we should have got closer to 30 million euros. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments. On top of that as well, Sammy Lokonga, Albert Sammy Lokonga, he's another player that we are also trying to offload as well. There is a team that was interested in him. I forgot what the team is, and this is very, very poor of me. Very, very bad. Please do forgive me. If you know in the comments, please put it in. We're trying to offload him. However, it looks like this particular team, they are only wanting a loan with an option to buy. And Arsenal want to make the sell so they can put it against the FFP for this particular season. I do see them still going. But overall, I'm happy with the depth in the squad. And people have to understand we are going to have matches coming up thick and fast. Carabao Cup, FA Cup and Champions League. You need strength in depth now. So I believe Arsenal at the point that we can have good, almost about 3-4 rotations of the teams we're able to play. Can you imagine in a Carabao Cup, you have In Capier, you've got Mosquera, you've got Skelly, and you probably got Ben White. Then in the midfield, you've got Marino, you've got Nwaneri as the number 10, and let's say, who else could we stick in the midfield? Let's say you put Eze as the left-sided 8. I don't know. Then up front, you can have Martinelli, even play Trossard as a false 9, and Madueke or Dauman. That's still a decent, strong enough team with enough creativity to do a bit of damage. So I believe Arsenal have learned from their mistakes from the previous season. And one of the areas we had to address was depth, and attacking options and creativity, which we now have in Eberechi Eze. So yeah, that's a quick roundup for me in regards to what's happening in the world of Arsenal at this moment in time. If I have left anything out, please do let me know in the comments. But thank you once again for subscribing, and I'll be back with another video about how we can shape up against Liverpool. But thanks again for listening. Until the next video, as always, peace.